I have found that guys just like take their hands and they like, really like
You just
that is where
jab
the
it.
power comes from.
Yeah.
I just step on it with one foot and then like a chump on it.
Yeah, that's what I
Like
do
that's
too.
the only way I can get in. And I've like
Yeah, I
noticed
can't
so
just
often
like muscle it in there. No, I got to jump on it.
We're back, good plant people. We're here for the Plant Nerd Podcast. It is late February for everyone, and with me is the queen herself. She's back. She missed last time, but she's back. She's in Australia, right? Or Austria. Which one is it?
Austria.
I'm just
It's the
teasing
same
with you.
thing. Same thing, right?
But no
You have the same
kangaroos.
accent, right? So
Same, mate.
the perennial queen herself is in her native land, and we're so glad you're back. We'll get you right after the other introductions. Michelle, the millennial maven herself, is in the house, and Devin, the Don of the North Florida Garden, the Plant Nerd Podcast, the trio. Are we a trio? No, we're a quad.
Quadruples. Quattro.
We're back. So, what is going on, everybody? Kata, what's going on in Austria today?
Yeah, I'm back. I arrived 3 days ago. I'm not very used to this cold, nasty weather yet. It's raining nonstop. It was really stressful, but I absolutely love the house. So I moved back into my childhood home, and I think I told you all that. But my dad moved out. He moved into a smaller apartment, and so I moved into this house where, surprisingly, even though he runs a nursery, the garden has like really good bones and there is so much to see, but it probably needs a little bit of love. But it's been really, really great to like see what's already blooming here. And for the fact that I went from North Carolina, where the weather was so much nicer, to Austria, I was so surprised that it's like further along because so many spring ephemerals that don't do well in southern climates are actually in full bloom here. And my entire garden is like full of snowdrops, full of like, remember,
awesome.
Michelle, when a couple of times ago you asked why your cyclamens weren't blooming?
Yes.
And my dad was like, it probably doesn't get cold enough. I have like carpets full of them. So I'll definitely share a video.
That's
It
awesome.
is so pretty. It's just white and pink and yellow everywhere. And it's such a cool garden. So even though it's cold and nasty, I like go outside and I check it out. And we just opened our nursery today and we called it like the Snowdrop Festival. And we're selling snowdrops, hellebores, cyclamens, and some other spring ephemerals. And it's been so great. It was my first day really back at work here in Austria. And yeah, I just absolutely, I'm like over the moon. I didn't know I was missing Austria that much, but I really did.
That's so cool.
But I'm also really happy to be like here today to chat with you because I definitely missed that.
Well, we missed you, and I want to see a picture of all this. Some of these winter gardens that layer in the Lenten rose and the snowdrops, and just I saw a picture on Instagram the other day where they just had a corner, a little path, where they just peaked everything in the planting design to bloom right now, and it looked like just a magical place. I mean, obviously in the summer it probably doesn't look great, but.
Though, like this is the magic about snowdrops. Like I can even share pictures of like that spot that I took a picture of yesterday at the nursery. Like it is full of snowdrops now. The exact same spot has like grasses and like asters and all those other plants then later. So like they just completely go back and then you have this beautiful summer garden. Also, I'm just going to do a little self-advertisement right now, but I did start an Instagram just for our nursery. So if y'all want to follow me on the nursery tour,
Yes.
Sarastro Stauden, we definitely have to probably do a link in.
Yeah.
Like a very German word right here. But yeah, I just thought I'll mention it that I have started an Instagram for a little tiny nursery, but it's been super fun so far.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Can't wait to check it out.
In person, right?
Dee. Okay, what else are you doing, Kata? you got your snowdrops, so what are you looking forward to just over the next few weeks? What else?
I think really, like I said, like garden needs a little bit of love. A lot of the like bigger shrubs, the trees, they really gotta be pruned. I bought a new car. Went a little American and I bought an SUV, which most
Oh.
Austrians don't have. Like we have a carport and like I can barely move in because there is this beautiful wisteria, which in the southern states, people are like, why would you have wisteria? But here, it's really not an issue. Like, it's not invasive in Austria, but it's grown so big that I can like barely fit the SUV in there. So,
But it's gonna be beautiful in the spring and summer.
oh, I know, but it needs a little haircut, like
So now's the
little
time
over.
to trim the
I
vines.
If it's time or not, it has to have
It's
some of the
gotta.
things
Right.
just have to happen. Like we have like this little walkway, and I can just tell how my dad probably never used that part because like they always go out in the front, but you could go out in the side. And there's just this beautiful rose, and I know it's gorgeous. Like I remember what it looked like from when I was a kid. It was like this beautiful double flowered apricot rose. It's just too big. Like it gotta be trimmed. And I just always personally feel like when stuff hasn't leafed out yet, I don't feel as bad trimming stuff back. Like it's a mental,
Like whacking
emotional
it. Yeah.
thing, right? And I'm like,
Yeah.
as we all know, not a shrub expert, but I just don't feel as terrible whacking stuff back now when everything is dormant.
No,
Do you
this
all
is the
feel that
time.
way? Okay,
Yeah.
good.
No, for
Well,
sure.
I would do it
Well,
anyway because I wouldn't feel so bad.
no, I just got a haircut, and now's the time for your haircut of all that stuff. And then, so like, I got it so short that
Does
I
look.
might be able to go through like similar to the vines, like early summer, and then I just give it a little another haircut.
One more after the main bloom, and then you
There you
Yeah,
go.
whack it back
Tell you
again.
when you need a little love.
Yeah.
right.
After you're done blooming, Mario.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. I need a lot more help than that. All right, Devin, what's going on with you? I need to know what's going on in North Florida right now.
Well, it's sunny and like gonna be 75 today, so it's a nice day down here. And I'm just working on getting mulch out. I have next week off, so I have my dad's big F350, and I'm getting load after load of mulch, and then also gonna sand in the vegetable garden. So I'm getting the yard just ready for spring. So when everything blooms, I can take lots of pretty pictures. So
Did we talk about your favorite mulch? Also, like,
I mean,
what's
I
the?
love the mulch I use. I just use I love it because I feel very green. It's from the county dump. So everywhere in
Oh,
Tallahassee,
yeah,
they just
yeah,
take all their yard waste and they just grind it up and either turn it into fine, like almost pine mulch,
yeah.
or like long pieces of wood. And I just use the pine
That's
mulch. So it's
yeah.
it's green. It's no plastic bags, no nothing. It's awesome. So
Yep.
it's a little bit more
Okay.
work, but it's also the
Okay.
price is great, free.
And then I was gonna ask about the sand. Like, is that a
Same.
Florida thing? Yeah, is that a Florida
No.
thing? Like,
No, I started using it for my paths in my woods, and so I had done mini nuggets in the paths for the vegetable garden, but I kind of want it all to be the same now. So I just do sand. It's cheap and I like to walk on it in my bare feet, so it feels
like
good.
play
Makes me think I'm on
sand?
the beach.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like play sand pretty much. So it's just like
That's
they
so
just
cool.
have it like at the nursery right down from us. They just have a bunch. It's like from the beach. They just have a huge mountain of it. So sand's super cheap down here. It's great.
Did
But
you do that
and then the other
in Georgia as well?
yeah, I mean you could. I mean it's a great. I think in the woodland I eventually want to do a flagstone path, so the base
That's
will already
pretty.
be there. So
Pretty.
Cool.
you know,
Because Georgia's obviously has clay, and a lot of people don't know that clay is about what is it, 1,000 times smaller. Granular clay is 1,000 times smaller than a granular sand. So just mixing that sand with the clay obviously adds a lot more drainage capacity. And little known fact that there are still a couple of dredging operations along the Chattahoochee River. They have to like dredge
Yeah.
some areas, and you can get Chattahoochee sand in a
Cool.
few places. I can put it in the show notes. One of the things, but it's literally you back up your truck and you hold up a finger, one load or two, one scoop or two, and then you better have cash because those operations are very, very been there a long time.
Yep.
But you can get this Chattahoochee sand and you can mix it in with your vegetables. You can mix it in a drainage area. It's so helpful. And a lot of people don't know where to get it because they're probably used to just the Home Depot buying in a bag.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of, the play sand that you get in the bag and you plop
But
it
you
into
can get bulk. You can get bulk. Fraction of the cost.
And less bags. So I hate the plastic
true.
bags. So, and the other thing that I was actually doing at the beginning of the podcast is I'm getting ready to order me a Kindred Spirit Oak.
A Kindred Spirit. I feel like I have to Google this.
Don't know that.
Oh yeah,
Same.
we'll show a picture of it in the show notes.
Describe
but
it.
It is. Oh, it's a really tall, skinny oak tree. But the leaves are just so like glossy and beautiful. I saw it at a trade show. A little
And you were
while
like,
ago.
I must have this.
I have to have one of these. So
it spoke to
I
you.
want to get it down here while it doesn't have leaves on it. It's easier to drive it from Atlanta down here. So
is it like a legacy variety, or where did this come from?
It's a newer variety. I don't know exactly where it came from. I talked to him about it, but I talked to so many people I can't remember. I just know it's a newer one because it's bred. It really only gets like 5-6 feet wide and about
cool.
30, 40 feet tall. It's a good street tree. That's what everyone wants now. So
yeah,
I'm ordering a big one, a nice 45-gallon. I'm excited.
Ooh.
And so they're growing them in North Florida?
No, I'm
South Georgia.
Devin is growing.
It's middle Georgia. So
interesting.
Devin will be growing one.
I'm excited.
Wait, can I show these?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here we go.
It's such a cool tree.
Wow.
It's super cool. And the leaves,
that is neat.
The leaves are just breathtaking on it. They're like shiny and it's just like the perfect little oak leaf. So
I can totally see why people would want to use it in like urban settings, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I'm putting it on the corner of my house in the backyard. It'll look really cool on the corner of the house.
That'll be neat.
With
so what is the
caliper?
What's the caliper on a 45-gallon?
It'll probably be about an inch and a half. It'll probably be an 1.5 inch caliper, and probably the one I saw at the show was about planted. It'll be about 12 to 13 feet tall. So a pretty big tree.
So you're gonna have a lot of fun digging that in and planting it.
It's super easy to dig down here because it's all sand.
Oh, man.
Well, like,
cool.
I thought you would say like your roommate is gonna dig.
Yeah, I was about to say that's what I thought.
He'll help. Don't worry.
You had somebody else lined up.
He'll help. Yeah. But no, it's all sand. It's so easy digging down here. It's great.
That's awesome.
You just have to water all the time. That's the one downside.
Yeah.
Right.
But that's what's still going on down here. So it's nice and warm, getting ready for spring.
What is the temperature right now?
It is. It doesn't tell me right. Let me look at my phone. It's probably in the 70s. Let's see.
You're so jealous.
Literally 30.
You're freezing.
72 and sunny.
Of course it is.
Amazing.
Of course it is. But I have flowers and you don't.
Well, Michelle, you're in Atlanta.
Yes, I'm in Atlanta.
And it's balmy. It rained all night last night.
Yep.
I had the window open. I got an elbow. I got an elbow in the middle of the night. Was like, you better close that window. But I thought I was in New England all last week, so it felt great. But so tell me, what's going on with you? What's going on this week or last week?
So last week I talked about how I started seeds and Devin was already planting them out in his garden. So now I'm at the point of potting up the seedlings. So I'm starting to do the like Tetris math on how much room I have and if I overplanted, because now that I'm potting up, there's, each thing takes up more room. But basically once I see true leaves, that's when I like to pot up ideally. And then for me, it's like when I see all of the roots saying, help me, please separate. That's when it actually happens. But I try to do it.
Is that all vegetables or did you grow any flowers from seed too?
So this year I'm growing the Dando Blue Ageratum. I'm trying to be good and grow some annuals. Sweet Alyssum is, I don't know. I can't decide if it's going to be a perennial or not, but I think here Alyssum is a perennial, but I don't know if the seed packet is an annual type. So I just might as well try. And then zinnias. What else am I growing? Celosia, Amaranth, the usual little, like
You're
I'm
growing
gonna
a
make my
lot.
That's
little,
so cool.
I'm making my little cut flower beds so that I
That's
can
cool.
make in
Yay!
caves.
Cut flowers for the win.
I know. We're doing it again this year, so
That sounds lovely.
yes.
That's
Do you
Lovely.
do
cool.
the net? Are any of these get too
No.
tall that you have
They
to
get-
go through the net?
They get way too tall and I don't net them and then they flop over and so I have some crooked stems. But I don't sell these, so but every year I want, the thing is, like, I just want to grow the flowers, and the logistics of how to net and stake I want to leave to my husband, but he doesn't truly do that. So like it's like a desire, like I want him to do it. I want him to want to do it, but he doesn't want to do it back.
Good.
I don't really tell him. I'm just waiting.
You just did,
Hoping
but
for the best.
you know,
I know. Listen to the show.
listen to the show. I do love, like, I think we should really talk about one time about like gardening with family members, like kids, partners,
Oh my gosh.
spouses, grandparents. I think there's so many fun stories of what you expect of somebody and how it works and
And what
how
actually
it doesn't
happens.
work. I know. I always listen to Devin and his garden and how him and his roommate are gardening all the time. And I'm like, me and my husband get constantly into fights. The minute
We
we
do
garden,
too.
we're like, awesome. We get into the garden. We're both horticulturists. It doesn't work. It's mind blowing to me.
Yeah, my roommate's like the only one I let work in the yard with me because at home I'm like, no, by myself.
No
Just
touching.
leave me
Yeah.
alone. Yeah, this is.
Yeah,
I like to work out here by myself. Don't talk to me.
Yep. That's
love
funny.
it.
All right.
Mario, what is going on with you?
So I'm setting up some photos. So
Ah.
existing landscape, did the landscape plan. Basically, the homeowner was like, I just want all these out of here. But I was like, man, some of these boxwoods still have a little bit of life. I think these are the wintergreen variety. There's a lot of like Yopon and kind of other stuff that I just want to get out of there. So I cleared a lot, saved all these autumn ferns. But look at this massive thing. And I was like,
Wow.
I just got to save it. I just got to figure it out.
Yeah,
So it's the perfect time. It's end of February. We went ahead and dug these out. I'll show you what this kind of turned into. And so if anybody's really wants to save these things, one of the things I was about to do was actually just take a picture of it and post it to Facebook and be like, who wants it? I'll put it
wants
into
it?
the back of a truck. What we did was we took a flat shovel, real long steel shovel, and just cut the root system about where the canopy is now on the plant. And then we kind of went in at an angle, and then really just try to cut all the roots at a fairly sort of wide radius. So then we got a machine. We have a walk behind tractor. And it can only lift about 1,200 pounds. So it wasn't like the biggest tractor in the world, but we ended up just getting rid of all of these plants right here and then scooping underneath it and then pulling it out. So there was a lot of things that I wanted to save, especially this one right here. I wanted to save that one as well.
So you were on a rescue mission this week.
I was on a
Rescue the
rescue mission.
plants.
Yes, I was on Operation Boxwood Recon.
So who got the boxwood? Did you like
Yeah.
post it on Facebook and reply yourself? I'll take it.
Well, as soon as
I'll
I
take
cleared,
it.
as soon as I cleared everything out, the homeowner was like, "Oh, I want to keep it, but I just want to relocate it on the property," because she
okay.
didn't like it with everything else. And you can kind of see my layout here.
It's so pretty.
We did a lot of
You
fun
did like
things.
No, nothing. I'm admiring. I'm saying, is that a box, like a little boxwood hedge?
Little boxwood hedge. This is proven winner Sprinter boxwood. I really like
awesome
the Sprinter.
boxwood. I love that boxwood.
grows fast. It can hedge well. Great price. I really like it. Totally uniform. Um, and Kata, she is German. This client is German, and she
Yes.
was like, "I need things a little bit more orderly. I need
She wants
things
it in a
little."
line.
Yes, she wants it in a
Square.
line. So as you can see, the guys laid out these stones, and I was like, "No, no, no, no. We have to put it right on center. We can't have it like move that 1,000-pound stone 6 inches before the homeowner comes out here."
That's
So,
Because she
awesome.
might yell at you.
she will point it out. She won't. I don't know if she'll yell at me. She's a very sweet lady.
That is the attention to detail you
She
get. That's
she
awesome.
probably has been in the States long enough to not yell anymore, but yeah, I always feel like we're so direct too. We're like, this isn't straight. Fix it.
So yeah, we are in the process of moving these. I'm going to share more, but here's my big tips for transplanting. Water it in pretty good, not saturated when you're moving it. Just give it a little bit. Cut the roots. Get it moved however you can.
Yank.
And then when you're prepping, when you're putting it in, water the poop out of it. Just dump water on wherever it's going to, as soon as you transplant it. And then I add 2 things to it. I add lime because we're in Georgia. Everything's so acidic that if it's too acidic, the boxwoods aren't going to like it. And then I use Osmocote. And Osmocote obviously is a fertilizer. But what I do also with both of those, I make sure that the root systems get close to that mineral and Osmocote. A lot of people are kind of putting it maybe too far around, but I have it right near.
You put it like right on top of. Basically.
I wear a glove and I have a handful of Osmocote and I put it right down as far as I can, right near the base, and then I release it.
So when I transplant, instead of using Osmocote, I like to use Biotone. It's a root stimulator.
Yeah,
from
that's what I
Espoma.
use too.
And that I'll actually mix in with the soil. So like when you're amending your hole, doing the half existing soil, half, amendment, I throw in, usually depending how big it is, a couple handfuls of Biotone and then mix it in the hole and then pull all the dirt out. And then I'll actually throw 1 or 2 handfuls directly at the bottom of the hole and then put the plant right on top of it. And that really just helps get the plants growing and getting their roots growing back, because that's the biggest thing when you transplant is you want to get as many roots as you can.
Yeah.
So like on those boxwoods.
Do you use only Biotone, or do you I feel like I always go to Lowe's and there's like Biotone and this and this and this.
Oh
and this
my
and
gosh.
this, like all the tones. And like even me as a horticulturist, like I'm overwhelmed. But then I've heard so many people say, "Oh, I just use Biotone for everything." What do you do?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, Biotone. You could use Biotone on everything. It's great because I believe in strong roots. If you have strong roots, you'll eventually get a pretty plant on top, and you don't want fertilizers with a lot of nitrogen make the top grow, and then they don't have the roots and they need more water. So you could use Biotone to fertilize the whole yard. I'm just have too much yard and I'm too lazy to.
And it gets expensive. I agree. Costco carries the holly tone, and I know it's a little bit acidic, but like for the majority of my shrubs, the azaleas, rhododendrons, gardenias, I feel like that's all right. So I kind of holly tone everywhere because I have that giant bag that I'm like, why did I buy this much?
Costco is the best. I've been buying preen. I've been buying buckets of preen from them.
Do you?
Yeah, and the rose 2-in-1.
They sell that.
They got
there?
it. They got it. A big jug.
I mean, not that I would use that because it's not organic, but
yeah. But I mean, you could use Biotone everywhere if you wanted, but I'm too lazy and I use just all-purpose shrub fertilizer that you can put over the mulch and it'll get in, because you have to pull for Biotone to work well. You have to pull all your mulch or pine straw back, and that Biotone has to touch the ground. All organic fertilizers are like that, so it's just a lot of work. So I'm lazy and do
so interested to finally go to actually a place where I can buy all this in Austria, because I feel like I've never
Yeah.
really gardened in Austria, and like people don't mulch here. So I'm like, I don't even know which type of mulch I can get here, or where to buy it, or
Yeah.
biotone. Like now I'm so used to those names. I'm sure it's not called
Yeah.
biotone, right? So yeah,
Yeah,
I'm so
there's no,
excited.
I don't think biotone's in Europe,
Probably not. I'll
but
tell
you'll
you
find
next time
something.
because
I'm sure.
next week
Yeah.
I'm sure I've been there.
But yeah, back to transplanting though. Can I show a picture of like my favorite transplanting shovel that I use when I
Do it. Show it.
Let's do it.
I am obsessed with
I've
sorry.
never. I mean, I know everybody has a favorite shovel, but
This is my favorite line of shovels. They are the best.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
called Radius.
Oh
And so it's an
yeah.
ergonomic shovel. I have everything, every single one from them. But this is awesome because it's that long, skinny, flat shovel like Mario was talking about, and it's perfect for getting underneath shrubs and everything like that. And one thing I've done in the past,
Go ahead.
I'd say one thing that I had to transplant this like 10-foot tall Japanese maple all by myself one time for someone, and I was like, I cannot kill this Japanese maple. So I dug up my whole like root ball, but it was too big to pull on my own. And so if you take a tarp, you can work that tarp underneath the root ball, and then that'll help you pull it out of the hole and then drag it where it's got to go.
That's a great idea.
One of my little tricks that I've done. So
that is a great idea.
I think this is where you can see that the garden culture has been probably further along in the German speaking countries, because we have like different words for this shovel than a regular shovel. Like there's at least 3 different words of like a type of shovel. And I would never call this a shovel anymore, but I absolutely agree with you. It's a fantastic tool to have.
this is another, if we're talking about shovels, this is an awesome shovel here
The
too.
Root Slayer. I'm sorry. The name is like,
that's a lot.
That's fantastic.
But it's great because if you look down
my gosh,
here,
it's like a saw.
It's a saw. So like if you're trying to plant somewhere where there's a lot of roots, you can just get that guy in the ground and you just like saw around the hole to cut a hole in the roots.
You get the Root Slayer shovel. That's what you need.
See, awesome. You know what I think we should do? We should also like do a demonstration of like how we use shovels. Like I have found that guys just like take their hands and they like, you know, really like that is where the power comes from.
Yeah.
I just step on it with 1 foot and then like a chump on it.
Yeah, that's what I do
like
too.
That's the only way I can get in. And I've like
I can't just like muscle it in there. No, I got to jump on it.
Just jab it.
But you know what? I'm like obsessed with those new shoes, on running shoes. You can't jump on them. Like you slip off immediately. I need like different shoes for transplanting. Very difficult life we have.
That is very hard. Okay, our next episode can be all about shoes.
Yeah, we don't have to go that far. I think shovels is great.
Shovels is good. And the different words.
Use them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
And ultimately, I think if you just don't have the manpower, a roommate like Devin who will do it for you, or don't get a 45-gallon. Like I don't think I've ever bought such a big tree.
I've never. I buy all the little ones. Never. Because then you have to
45 gallons, not that bad. It's not that bad.
Well, Devin, when you come to Austria, I'll line them all up for you.
Yes.
Okay. I'm just doing 1, so I'm not doing like 10. So I guess that is different. But it's all good.
Yes.
All right.
So shovels, I think, just to go back to that, the ergonomic way, or basically good posture, because so many people get out there and have just hurt their backs. So I have noticed a couple of influencers on Instagram just talking about the better way to position so that you don't get hurt.
Yeah.
And then you enjoy it, right?
Yeah.
This company's great
and then
too.
You can
they
skip
have a
the
whole
gym.
There you go.
But this company has a whole line of hand ergonomic tools too. So I have the hand tools that are all ergonomically correct. So it's really, really good.
That's so cool.
Awesome.
I never thought about that much either. It's like, I don't know, just got the shovel at home. Like, how bad can it be, right? But like, if you really like, especially if you work in a field, and the more you do it, like a good shovel, such a lifesaver. Same with pruners. I feel like there's nothing worse than if you have bad pruners and then your whole like wrist here hurts.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's so worth it to get a very good, sharp pair of pruners.
Yeah. It's funny that you said that, Kata, like, yeah, everyone has their own shovel. Because, like, this, for me, if I have to plant something with a regular shovel and not my shovel, I do not like it. I can't stand it. It's so awkward and weird. Like, it's,
That's
I guess
my
we're
thing
true
with the
gardeners
shovel
if you
with
have
the
your own shovel.
chumbing. I'm like,
Yeah.
it needs to be a shovel
It
where
has
I
to have
can
the
chump
ledge.
on.
Yeah, the little
Yes.
ledge.
Mhm.
I know.
And you need
Well,
the
there's
right
not
shoes
like
for
a
that.
good place to find all this stuff because, you know, the Home Depots and Lowe's only have just the cheap stuff that's going to break. And then you have a few manufacturers doing. So, Devin, what was the name of that manufacturer again?
It's called Radius Garden.
Radius Garden. There's people out there that are doing some like custom made, really cool, I think next level tools just all throughout the landscape. Kudos to them because there's not much out there.
Yeah. And I've had these shovels for years. I mean, I bought them probably 10 plus years ago, and they still are great.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
All
Well,
right.
ladies and gentlemen, we are done with another Plant Nerd podcast. Thanks for joining us through the transplants and the seedings and the digging and the shoveling and Kata, welcome to Austria. We are so glad that you could join us again. Best of luck. Give us the new Instagram feed. I can't wait to follow and see what's growing on with you.
Yay!
All right, everybody.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Cheers.
Keep going and growing.